Good morning, everyone. Pete Pardo here once again from Sea of Tranquility with another edition of Classic Album Rewind, right? The show we're doing throughout the month of June where we're taking a look at a classic album from a classic band that perhaps is a little bit overshadowed by the even bigger classic, the older sibling that came right before it. So today we're going to go back to May 16th, 1983, the day of its release on EMI Records, recorded at Compass Point in Nassau in the Bahamas. Geez, didn't we just talk about another album recently that was recorded in the Bahamas? I don't remember too many of these. Produced by Martin Birch, I'm talking about Peace of Mind by Iron Maiden. Yes, indeedy. A classic album in most, 99% of the time, my favorite Iron Maiden album. Of course, it follows this behemoth right here, Number of the Beast, which is often looked at as their magnum opus and first album with Bruce Dickinson on vocals after he comes over from Samson, replacing Paul Di'Anno. But for me, I always kind of, there's probably the more iconic songs on that one. However, I think like start to finish, I kind of generally prefer this one a little bit. And I remember being a 17-year-old teenager in 1983, just totally going bonkers over this album, riding the high from Number of the Beast and Killers and the self-titled debut. And for me, like Iron Maiden at the time could, really do no wrong. And a great, great album filled with more classic tracks. And of course, this is the kind of retooled lineup, right? So you've got Nico McBrain coming in, replacing Clive Burr on drums. You got Steve Harris, of course, on bass, and chief songwriter Adrian Smith, Dave Murray on guitars, and Bruce Dickinson on lead vocals. On Air Raid Siren, right? Classic album, as I've already stated, and it kicks things off with the tremendous album opener, which is one of my favorite album openers of all time, Where Eagles Dare. And you talk about like a guy announcing to the world that he is now in one of the biggest bands in the world, Nico McBrain, that drum barrage that kicks off that song and this album, absolutely tremendous. Where Eagles Dare is just so heavy, so precise. And one of the things I was re-listening to this album recently, and so many people over the years have talked, obviously Maiden is a heavy metal band, right? But so many people always try to put forth the argument that at their core, Maiden were truly a progressive metal band, utilizing all sorts of intricate passages and changing time signatures and all that kind of stuff. And while I will say that throughout their career, sure, they've had plenty of proggy moments. They are a true, British heavy metal band. But, a lot of the guys in the band, like Steve Harris, big fan of like Yes and Genesis and Jethro Tull and all that sort of stuff, right? So you listen to some of the arrangements on these songs, not just on this album, even on Number of the Beast, especially on Killers and the first album, and of course in more recent years, Maiden has turned into a very, very progressive band. Some will say to the detriment of the band's music because it's just too progressive, too epic sounding, and whatever your opinions are, that's totally fine. But, on this album, a lot of really cool, interesting instrumental bits and passages, all right? Yeah, from Where Eagles Dare, we go into Revelations. Great, again, fantastic bass playing throughout this album. I really miss the days where Steve Harris's bass was very busy and very upfront in the mix. We don't get enough of that anymore. We haven't in years, but like those first handful of albums, man, he's just all over the place on there. Revelations, he's all over that. Great twin guitar stuff going on in this song. Lots of tasty melodies. Great vocals from Bruce. And I love the chorus. From there, we move on to the shorter, more compact, but no less amazing song, Flight of Icarus. This was the first big song from the album that most of us latched onto, right? At 3 minutes and 49 seconds, it hits hard, it's anthemic, it's heavy, right? That chorus is just absolutely incredible, amazing, whatever you want to call it. Flight of Icarus. Killer track, one of the standout tracks from the Maiden catalog early on. From there, we go to Die With Your Boots On to finish off side one of the LP, all right, first half of the CD. Because if you're gonna die, if you're gonna die, if you're gonna die, if you're gonna die, die with your boots on. If you're gonna try, just stick around, gonna try. Fun song. For me, Dower the Boots On, good, fast-paced heavy metal romp. But for me, it's all about the vocal interplay from Bruce. Just absolutely amazing. And that song is written by Adrian, Steve, and Bruce all together. From there, we move on to side 2. Of course, the legendary song, The Trooper. Talk about your barnstorming, galloping track, right? One of the probably most famous Iron Maiden songs in their entire history. The Trooper is absolutely legendary. Man, the machine gun guitar and bass riffing, just absolutely tremendous. The drumming, it's just a kick-ass song no matter how you look at it. Next up is Still Life. Love that kind of slow guitar intro with the lilting bass in the background. You know, there's 2 songs on this album, I'm going to get to one of them in a couple minutes, that I think really foreshadow the direction the band would go as they move into the 90s and certainly into the 2000s, where, you know, the long extended intros, right, leading into these big, you know, epic songs and whatnot. And I think Still Life kind of moves in that direction very early on, obviously. I think Still Life is a terrific song. Very melodic, very haunting, but nice and heavy. Great guitar work from both those guys. From there, we go into Quest for Fire. Not my favorite song on the album. It's kind of fun. It's catchy. Shortest song on the album. But probably, you know, when I look at everything on this album, that's the one song I could probably, if I had to skip one, I'd probably skip that one. But it's okay for what it is. Sun and Steel. Another really catchy rocker. Actually, no, this is the shortest song on the album, 3 minutes, 25 seconds. We got three 3-minute tracks on here. Sun and Steel, written by Dickinson Smith. Another good, memorable heavy metal rocker on this album. And that leads to what is probably the... I don't know, the most challenging piece on the album. Definitely, you know, when I was talking before about those progressive elements. Man, To Tame a Land, 7 minutes, 26 seconds, written by Steve Harris. That is just, man, all sorts of intricate little bits, you know, the bass and the weaving guitars, right? And the different kind of changes of pace throughout the song. Nico's fantastic drumming. To Tame a Land is just incredible. And again, it's got that extended opening kind of interlude type of thing, that dreamy, just weaving, proggy bliss that kicks off the album. Absolutely tremendous. Absolutely tremendous. And again, To Tame a Land would be... I know they did like longer form songs, you know, on the first 3 albums, you know, longer being like 5, 6, 7 minutes long. But I think To Tame a Land is kind of the beginning of where we would see this band go many, many times since this particular album. So, and I think To Tame a Land is one of those songs that maybe back in the day, when I was first listening to this album, probably didn't appreciate as much as I do now. Now, To Tame a Land to me is a pretty special song on a pretty special album. So there you have it, today's classic album rewind from none other than Iron Maiden. Peace of Mind, right? Whether it's your favorite Maiden album or second, you know, it definitely is a classic. It definitely did a fantastic job following up this legendary album. And like I said, I might think it's a little bit better. But better doesn't really mean much. It's all relative, right? It's all in the eye of the beholder. But both classic albums. And yeah, there we have it. Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, of course, we are on YouTube. All the damn time. Stay tuned for another edition of Classic Album Rewind tomorrow, each and every day here throughout the month of June. So you know how it goes. If it's an album you haven't listened to in a long time, hit that old rewind button, play it again. If you've never heard this album, now's your time. Go check it out wherever you listen to your music, and then report back in the comments. Let us know what you think of the album on first time listen, or also in the comments, let us know what you think of this album overall, right? That's what it's all about. It's about revisiting some of these really cool classics from some pretty legendary bands. So what else is coming up on the channel? So today, of course, is Wednesday, so it's new product review day here on Sea of Tranquility. We've got the new Black Sabbath Sabotage box set. We got new Dennis DeYoung. We've got new Flotsam and Jetsam, new Big Train, new Can Archival Live. I got all sorts of stuff. I mean, I get to all of them today. Whatever we don't get to, we'll leave for next week. And what else? That's it for today. Tomorrow, pretty special day tomorrow. Not only is it Monsters Den tomorrow, featuring Dan Brown, Jamie Laszlo, and myself talking about ranking our 10 favorite Alfred Hitchcock films. Not only is it that, not only is Lynn Versace coming on the show, she's going to, the two of us are going to rank our top 10 songs for ABBA, as well as ranking the catalog of the Steve Morse Band, right? In addition to all that, legendary guitarist, founding member, guitarist and vocalist from the band Toto, Steve Lukather, coming on the show. I have been trying to get Steve on the show for a long, long time. Steve will be joining me tomorrow for a fun chat about an upcoming live album / DVD Blu-ray set from Toto called With a Little Help from Me Friends. All right, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about, where Toto is at today. I'm going to ask him a couple questions about his fairly recent autobiography and what's new in the world of Steve Lukather. Always one of the most engaging guys on the planet, and I am stoked beyond belief to have him here on the channel. So stay tuned for that. Friday morning at the Funhouse with Martin Popoff, we're going to be talking about epic length tracks that suck. So the big long songs that we really don't like much. And yeah. All that and more. And then next week, of course, we got In the Prague Seat, Hudson Valley Squares, and everything repeats all over again because we've got that weekly programming each and every week. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't. Click that notification bell so you get notified of all of our videos. If you want to make a channel donation, it's much appreciated. The link to the Ko-Fi page is below. Link to the merch page is below as well. You can order some cool Sea of Tranquility swag. And visit us on the web at www.seaoftranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, of course, we're here on YouTube all the damn time. See you guys later on with more content. What's Hot with Sea of Tranquility Day here on the channel. So catch all the new videos as they appear, and we'll see you then. Take care. Bye-bye.